the amount of productivity you get with AI tools is amazing. Like what they are
Yes.
able to do is amazing. The only big value for being able to capture from AI is productivity, right? So decrease time to, there's much reduction in time to get things done. You do things faster, making it easier. So it frees you your time off for more things, for more, to take on more things, frees your brain off.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Tech Niger FM, where we normally spotlight people that are doing well in the industry. And on today's edition, I have a wonderful friend of mine. We've been working from one project to another, and I value our work so much that I have to bring her on this particular show today to come and tell us one or two things about products, product design, product management, and the likes. And I know she's doing some activities around AI now because that's where the world is going into. On today's episode is going to be more of conversation, more of learning new things from her background, career journey, down to where she is now. And the topic that we have today is from design to product because she started from design. Now she's into product, how empathy and AI are shaping the future of digital innovation. Thank you this evening for joining us, Ayobami. It's good to have you
Yeah.
on this show today.
Thank you, Tunde, for inviting me. I feel honored, to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's going to be good for us to know your career journey because I know that you started from product designer, but now you are into product management. And there, can you just tell us what shaped you from product design to product management? We just want to know about your career journey.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I think one aspect I didn't know is that I was a consultant first before I moved into product design.
Really?
Yeah, I started my career. Yeah, yeah. I spent about 3 years um doing strategic consulting. Yeah. Like a one of local friend workforce in Nigeria. I think it was, tech was becoming a big thing in Nigeria back then for me. For me, like I have a background, like educational background in mechanical engineering. So I knew it wasn't for me, So somehow I kind of struggled at first, like UX design. And I started doing a lot of self study, reaching out to people about how, I think I like things, I really want to switch into it. At some point in time, I took a leap of faith and I put my job there to
Wow.
pursue an unpaid internship. And the rest is pretty much history. And I think that that's one of the best decisions that I ever made. I remember when I made that decision, I remember my father, my parents just calling me, like, why are you doing this? Like, I want you to do like financial stability, for this. But I just had that, like, um, job, that I get to do that and I do that. Yeah, it's been going well. I've been a product designer for about 6 years, worked in a couple of companies. I started first, like, did something that hotels of energy, that's line planning. Then hit a switch as well before moving down to Canada. Yeah, currency. So yeah, kind of. I've been a bit. I've been to different places there as well. Naturally, I've always had like like been very curious and really love that. I found it really fascinating how sometimes those small ideas that you're just thinking about in the bedroom just can, I mean, want to become something very big, move on to become a product that people are using worldwide, and such product is having impact, so many problem. And so because I had that fascination as well, I kind of pursue that curiosity with product design. I know with product design is more about answering the question of how. So how would the users solve
Mm-hmm.
this particular challenge with the product, right? But then I started to really get very much interested in the why and also like what. So that's what product management really comes into place because it's product management that defines like, I mean, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why do we need to do this? All of those key conversations. And I think that was what really made me move from product design to product management. My MBA in technology management um, at the Schulich School of Business here in Canada. Um, it's been a ride. It's been a ride. Like it's been an interesting ride. Not the easiest so far, but
Thank you so much. There are a couple of things that I didn't even know about that you just mentioned,
yeah,
but I think that interswitch, I knew about that interswitch because I saw that in your profile, but the consulting, I didn't know about it at all. I wasn't even aware. But I think that side is you kept that side from us. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you so much for that. It was wonderful to even gain the reason for you to move from product design to management. Thank you so much for that. I have few questions, and I also think maybe some of our audience might have few questions to ask you. But before we go into the audience, in your background, right, when you're talking about design, right, what are the approach and strategy that you put in place if you want to when you are working on maybe a particular design? What are the strategies that you normally put in place? Yes,
design process.
yes, the approach. Yes, the approach to product strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think one of the beauty about design is that every um, design, every field of design has like fundamentally um, the same like the same fundamental framework. Whether it's interior design, it's product design. But first is like really just understanding ingredients, like empathy, right? Understanding the problem we want to solve, really digging deep into the problem space. Then you then move into your solution space and ensure that whatever you're designing aligns with the user's expectation. I think the nuances that comes in when you begin to move across each of these things. So um, how do I understand my users results much better? You know, differ like the kind of technique you use as a product designer might differ easily from what you use as an interior designer or a stage, designer, and that's where like the nuances begin to come into play. But I think personally for me, it's like I said, that's same process. At different points in time where I find myself, I had to like adapt like that fundamental process itself. I've worked in startups a lot. I've worked with established companies a lot, and I can tell you categorically that um, the processes, the things that you have to change, right, differs a lot. So when you work with a startup, for example, things need to be done really quickly, and you might not have as much time and leeway as you would have in a bigger organization. And so you don't have that opportunity to carry out elaborate, for example, research, trying to understand the users, right? And so you need to use the quickest avenue that you're getting. So surveys, can I just speak to one or two people? Or can I do some deep market research? I get my insight there and jump right into things, right? Also, in terms of like designing itself, in a startup, for example, perfection is never. What's more important is like, does this like does this work and how is this using it? So if you're looking for very fine like very fine designs, sometimes it doesn't necessarily work compared to when you're like a big company like say when I was like in test for example, like substantial time to do. research. I will
Research.
have good time, enough time to do my design, things like that. Someone else nuance is really different, but like fundamentally, it's like having empathy, understanding the users, understanding like the problem itself, why they need it, and creating the solution that actually solves that problem. Now, I think some other thing that it's really like, I mean, I can't, I probably go and talk about it is when you're also having empathy to understanding your users, you also need to understand your internal stakeholders as well. And that's also, it's different across different organizations. So while you're understanding your users, you understand your internal stakeholders, your product managers, your engineers, uh, make sure you are having close interaction with them when you're designing. And it seems very cliche, but honestly, it's how it's supposed to be. And this is true. And it is necessary if you want to make your life like a lot better. As in, like you want to breathe easily, you want to enjoy your job as a designer. So I would say, yeah, that's pretty much like it on a very fundamental level.
Yeah, thank you so much. Where you mentioned about engineers, stakeholders, something drove on my mind that you've moved from product design to product management now. While you are working with developers, especially front-end developers, then on the product design perspective, I believe there are a couple of times that you have back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But now that's one side of it. But now you are even the product, let's say you are the product manager now. You now have to face not just one side now, but even from the front end, from the back end, from product owner, a lot of things. How do you normally manage that kind of activities or that kind of scenarios? Should in case something happen between, because you've been there, you've been in the shoe, right? So how do you normally
Yes, I get it.
manage it?
I mean, I think that even as a product like designer, I've been opportunity to work with teams that when you're working, for example, you're also working alongside with, like I said, that engineers are working alongside with different people, right? And then you are my product manager, and now I can almost, it's almost like, I mean, the role is reversed right now, right? So when I was a designer, I could have conversation with my product manager. Like, oh no, I don't think we should do this. I think we should do that. You understand? And like sometimes they insist on certain things, right? And now I'm in that position. I think initially one thing that felt like I felt was like, oh, because now that I'm in the product, maybe I should be a
Yes.
little bit more, flexible and all of that, right? I mean, that's fine. Do you understand? But what I've also come to realize is that the product manager is juggling like 1 million units. And all of those things have to align to, to contribute to a certain goal. And as much as I want to be, as much as like I will be empathetic, like I'm very empathetic with my developers, with my design. But the truth is that you are the custodian of that goal. You're the custodian of the product goal.
Yes.
Sometimes some decisions are tough to make. Sometimes some decisions may not exactly please the team, but you have to do it, in any way because you are moving towards a goal. And I think that that's what I've also come to learn as a product manager. And so there's a better understanding of why sometimes things, they have a like the product managers have a different understanding now. Now, in terms of how I manage like this people or a large set of people, I don't know. It's been different. First and foremost, I think you need to really develop trust. I think trust is very fundamental when you're working in a team, right? I need to trust you as like, I need to trust my team members that they will do the right thing. They will do their work well.
Yes.
And they need to also trust me that I will do my work well and I will do things well. And most important is like we have our backs. When I mean having our back, it's not like, oh, maybe you can mess up and then that covering for you. No, it's that we are going in everything we do as a team, right? We fall, we rise as a team, right? And so just building trust. So when you build that trust in yourself, it's easier to have conversations because we all know that it's not like I am trying to set you up or anything, right? We're just trying to move towards a goal. Another thing is collaboration. I know people try around that word a lot. Good collaboration solves a lot of problems.
Lot of things,
You
yes.
understand? When you when you collaborate well with your and collaboration is not just and we're working in the same workspace. No, no. Collaboration is like we are like we're working together in sync to achieve something, right? Like if you have challenges, you're like you there's psychological safety enough for you to come and say this is what going through so we can solve it together. I'm abreast of everything that's really going on. You know what's going on. I know what's going you know the why behind what we're doing this. You understand what is happening. You understand? You know, that's high needs collaboration is key. And I feel like when there is trust and collaboration, I think it kind of just solves like this whole bunch of problem. Of course, it's going to be like smooth every time. You understand? We would have back and forth. We would have like our arguments, you know, things like that. But we're human, we have different perspectives. And I think that that's also the beauty about like working in teams. As much as we have different perspectives, just understanding that the perspective is not personal. We have a goal and we need to do what we need to do our best to meet that goal because if we don't meet the goal, we have like the stakeholder, the management to report to. And I mean, in this climate that we're in right now, where so much job loss, you know, there's now much pressure to really like be more productive and actually deliver easily. So yeah, I'll pretty much say it's trust and big types like collaboration.
Yeah, so well, while working too, I so much value collaboration because you can't do it all alone. It's not possible because you need to you need to understand what other people are also doing, gain more experience from there, work together to achieve a common goal. Because at the end, if you fail, that means the whole team failed. So when you collaborate, it's easier for you to quickly achieve that desired goal. Thank you so much for that. I think it explains a lot of things that I'm actually looking at in terms of when you're even building a team. What are the things that you basically need to define properly in that particular team? Yeah, thank you so much for that. You've been working in Canada for a while now, and I think you're into AI stuffs. So how are you basically making use of the AI to enhance? Basically, we can't replace it, but how are you making use of AI in your work related, in your creativity and the likes?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much new in terms of like working in an AI company, right?
Yeah.
But so far, I think, I mean, you know, like the concept of AI is not new. Artificial intelligence itself is
Yes.
not new. I think what's really blown up is generative AI. And I think that is blown up because, well, I think it's blown up because generative AI has found a way to come, like to um, democratize AI itself. Do you understand? Before, if you say artificial intelligence, like it was to a layman walking on the road, they don't really get it. Do you understand? I'm using tools that use AI, but I can't really explain what's going on, you know. So I've used tools in the past where, you know, you're getting, for example, analytics tools, for example. I mean,
Yes.
tools where you're searching for things or you're trying to mark things together, especially research tools, and they use AI for that. But because generative AI has been able to democratize like artificial intelligence, so that's why it seems like is everywhere, like it's one of, and I think it's a very beautiful thing because um I one of the major big things that, and I think it cuts across a lot of organizations, is that the amount of productivity you get with AI tools is amazing. Like what they are
Yes.
able to do is amazing. Like with Gen AI, it's just amazing, right? Because right now, honestly, most companies, most organizations, right? I feel like the only things they've been able to, the only big value for being able to capture from AI is productivity, right? So decrease time to, there's much reduction in time to get things done. You're doing things faster, doing it easier. And so it frees you your time off for more things, for more, to take on more things, frees your brain off of mundane tasks, AI can do it, right? As much as organizations are trying to move beyond just productivity and see what else can we, how can AI also help our organization, a lot better. But I think the productivity act itself is big for this one. Like, for example, I was working on a document. I was working on a product rather. It's like a personal thing. Recently, this past couple of weeks, I've been doing that. I told myself that, okay, over the weekend, I wanted to do some Excel, like, um, details, Excel task. And it was going to take me 3 days. But I was sitting there. Wait. Why are you doing 3 days? Like me and ChatGPT. I use page. I said, okay. So I went to ChatGPT. And I said, oh, so I want to do this thing. I need you to go through this entire thing. I wanted to go through the website, go through all of their products, and imagine having like 1,000 products, right? I wanted to go through their products. I wanted to get some data information. I said, hey, and do that. When I bring that into my own data, I want to make some inferences. Trust me, it was a lot of data manipulation, analysis and manipulation.
Okay.
Then I went to ChatGPT and I'm like, okay, AI, let's do this. Let's do this. So, so let's see. Within the next 30 minutes, I was done. I'm sure, yeah. I understood the value of it, AI, but when I was done, I was like, what? Ah, do you understand? Another example is like I was running something and I needed an app for something very small app. Of course,
Okay.
I can't afford to go and get a developer. What did I do? I went into Reckitt. You understand? I went into Reckitt. I went into ChatGPT. I said, "Oh, I want to build this kind of app on Reckitt. Please give me a prompt that I can use." And give me a prompt. And I went into Reckitt and I built the house. You understand? And I've used this small app I wanted to use, and I'm using it for what I want to use it for. Do you understand? So it's mind blowing what like AI can do in your work, increasing productivity, getting things done. But what's important, and I think that that's what maybe what a lot of people also don't understand is that because we have these tools now at our disposal, I think it has reduced the knowledge gap in the sense that it's easy for me to, I'm a product manager. I'm not product. Yeah, ChatGPT has made us almost at par in terms of knowledge. You understand? Because knowledge is available out there now with ChatGPT. You can go to ChatGPT and ask questions. Now, so the
Yeah.
question is, how do you then differentiate yourself? It's not in using ChatGPT, sorry, using generative AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever you're using. It is in how
Yeah.
you use it, right? How you're prompting it, the kind of questions you're asking it, the kind of things you're getting from it to be able to deliver the kind of things that actually, because if we both use the same tool, right, what would differentiate you and I would be our output, would be our outcome. And the thing about AI is that it's garbage in, garbage out. You understand? It is whatever you prompt that gives you.
It
And
gives
so
me
you as a person, if you're not promoting the right thing, if
the
you're not
right
asking the right
command.
questions, you're not digging further, what you would just be outputting would be very banal, would be very meanwhile, somebody else is using this same tool to do mind blowing things. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I think that's where I stand. And for me, is like I'm using it for productivity, to hack my productivity. Like I said, building, small new tools that I need for my personal stuff. But also in terms of like, I mean, going down to what I do right now, what I currently work is using we're trying to use AI agents to um, foster more collaboration between people. Like I said, teamwork or making, so I work with us like all we do is that we are trying to improve how I call it, like community engagement, you understand,
Okay.
between within companies, within institutions. So if you're an institution, you have your alumni members, right? Just keep your alumni members engaged, without you doing so much work. So without AI agents able to pick tracks, able to pick trends amongst like members. Okay, so who has the same shared interest? Let's link them up.
Okay.
What is going on? And the beauty is that things are also like it's evolving. You understand? It's like engagement is also evolving within the platform because the tool like AI can also like tell like, okay, so this is the pattern so far. This is what could happen next, and things like that. Like
Okay.
it's kind of
Predict
beautiful
it.
when I think about predict that. And so it's kind of beautiful when I like will see that in like see it live, see it happening. And yeah, that's pretty much how I'm like using AI so
Making
far,
use of
how
it.
AI is helping me and yeah, helping my life and my destiny, so far.
Yes. So I was also working on an idea, and at that point, even at the point I was stuck, right? So I just had to ask ChatGPT to list out some functionality that I can incorporate into the app. Then I copy those functionality, paste it inside Lovable, and wow, generated a lot of things for me. I was like, we are there.
It's mind blowing. I was using a tool recently, Granola. And Granola is a meeting note taker, right? So it would help you summarize your meeting. I remember, of course, it's not like there's nothing new about meeting, like
Mhm.
AI note taker or whatever. I think that after the first meeting I recorded with Granola, I saw the summary. But guess what? I could ask questions. I could ask Granola a question because I should ask him, I was like, okay, and so this person said this, what was it for? And they were just outputting everything for me. And I'm like, hey, okay, I'm loving this. Simple things like that. Look simple, but when I say it can be mind blowing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's the end goal is actually productivity because even at my own workplace, we have ChatGPT subscription, a lot of things that you can basically use just to make your work much faster. And also, it's not about copying codes here and there, but basically, you also need to understand whatever because, like you mentioned, it's what you put inside that is going to give to you back. So if you paste in rubbish, then you receive rubbish back. So it's basically how to use it to gather a lot of things that you want. So, from your own perspective, what key will define the next generation of product managers in this AI world?
I don't know if I'm equipped enough to answer that, but I would share my own like.
Yeah, from your own perspective.
So I think that product managers they do a lot. They manage a lot of things. You're working with like marketing, engineering, design, management, cyber
Yeah.
security, that. And I think now more than ever, right? It's like I think that is supposed to help reduce the job because you're supposed to almost be not an expert, but know something about all of these things. Do you understand? And this is where I think that Gen AI really helps out a lot, right? Because now you can really like like right now you can get much done, much more productive, and get more quality work done with these tools if you're able to use them very well, right? Now, I don't know what, I don't think that as product managers, we should become machine learning engineers. No, do you understand? That's not like, I don't think that. So when people say you have to go new, develop new skills, honestly, I ask myself, so what's, am I supposed to be a machine learning? Am I supposed to go and learn Python to start?
Do you want to be training data? Do you want to train in machine?
Because I had this had to ask one of my, I mean, when I was in school, I had to ask one of my professors who was also a CTO in a big company here in Canada. I had to ask her. People keep saying like this skill thing. What exactly, like, what skills am I looking today? Because that's the only thing that comes to mind. But now, like, over time, my understanding and my real opinion is that it is not in learning all this, like, um, the technical stuff, but it is in learning how, I think, number one, coming to an understanding that AI is here to help you be better. You understand? Secondly, is like learn more, be more like have more technical understanding of how it works, the fundamentals of how it works, right? Thirdly is learning how to like use it to help you get work done. You understand? You need to use like, so I think that I don't know whether there's a goal right, maybe right now, right? There's a fear of like AI will take the job. But I think that AI and like human intelligence and machine intelligence are supposed to work hand in hand to get the best of work done. That's my own opinion, right? And so as a product manager, the question is that how do I work hand in hand with this machine intelligence to get my best work done, to be able to deliver on time, to be able to, increase the productivity of my team, to be able to get more predictive about how we're solving our problem, uh, more, oh, what's that word? To be less, to be more proactive, right? How do I use this tool to
Okay.
be more proactive? How do I, those kind of skills, critical reasoning, those are the kind of skills you need to also start to really deep, like prove more, you understand? How do I work with this tool to get my work done? And it is in that, and it is in that, right, that you're able to like become much better. And I would say that those are the kind of skills you need to really, really start developing. Like, you really need to, like, TMs really needs to develop much more critical reasoning, much more strategic reasoning, technical abilities, and just skills to be able to do much better work in collaboration with this machine intelligence, because AI is here to stay, and there is absolutely, and
Yes.
I mean absolutely nothing, that we can do about this. There's really nothing that we can do about this. So yeah, we need to um grow up some of those skills, system thinking, party, understand that. So we need to start to develop that and be less, and let's take machine do the day jobs, like the
Yeah.
tactical things, And I think that's my opinion. That's where I stand for now.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You've worked in Nigeria. You're currently working in Canada now. I know we have culture differences, but how are you able to quickly navigate your way around it? Because I know few of my friends too in Canada, and I know before they could uh settle right a day job because of the culture. So how are you able to quickly adapt based on culture, regional context around product? Because the way we design products in Nigeria might totally be different from the way they do things in Canada. I've not been there before, but how are you able to quickly adjust yourself in that regard?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I said, if you remember, I said initially that, like, I think that when you think about product as a whole, like, retails are still the same across like continents and all of that. Now, in terms of like diversity, in terms of like cultural context, right? Where that plays into is in things like I mean, would be in things about understanding your users, do you understand? And so what happens is that when if you move locations and you're beginning to design for a completely different kind of people, what you want to do is put all your what you already knew before aside, right?
Okay.
And actually like get to know the people you're designing for. Do you understand? And people throw around the word empathy. And like I said, empathy is key. But
Yes.
empathy is not putting yourself in other people's shoes. It's never because I don't think you can ever be in people's shoes. Like you can never be able to wear people's shoes. That I don't think so. Because for example, if I was designing an application for a blind person, I can never be blind. It's like I can't so except I am blind, I can't put myself in that person's shoes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what and I think that when people say put yourself in like, people's shoes, it gives them that leeway to that sit down and start to decide things for the users because they say, okay, so I could just so if I was the user, what will I do you understand? That's why some people tend to do that, right? But what empathy really means is like understanding the user in there, understanding their problems, what they want to do, their behaviors, what motivates them with in relation to your product. And one person who is really honestly talking to them, speaking to them. Um, do some market research around it, right? Now, in a different cultural context, like somewhere in Canada, and you know, one of the interesting things about Canada is that you have multiple cultures here. You understand? So it's not
Mm.
just like
Yeah.
the news. It's like we're saying like you're working with like Indians, you're working with like African, working with Nigerians, Ghanaians, you know, there's so many people working with Asians, right? And this is like so it's like multiple people in one. So in my elevator, for example, we don't have a number 4. We don't have a number 14. We don't have fourth floor. We don't have 14th floor. We will never sit in the elevator. Why? Because Asians, for their the 4 does signify something negative. And so you would not see that kind of journalist. I did not know that until I got here. I think I was I was just wondering that where's the first number 4 button? Do you understand? So you just need to be more, I think it's being more aware of it, right? Getting more understanding that there is a cultural difference, and so make it you need to be more aware of it, and also make efforts to like learn about that. So if your users are specific set of people, know more about them, learn more about them, right? How they do, how they use your product. At the end of the day, it's just learning more about your users. It's like you need to dig deep, and that's it. That's pretty much. There's no magic ball or magic solution to that, right? Now with AI, what AI does is like there are tools out there that makes like customer discovery, you know, a lot much better, faster, much scalable across the organization. So if you use tools like Bigtail, you understand, those are amazing tools, right? In fact, I've heard of tools where they would conduct interview on your behalf as PM, you don't have to pay the interview. They will conduct, but I don't do that because I really want to have some one-on-one with my user. But I can imagine where that could be useful. Maybe you have like tons of people. I mean, you could use that kind of to get like very big, like mass information or data from a large pool of users, right? And then try to find patterns around. But if I'm doing like conversations with like maybe 5, 10 people, I just do my one-on-one. Rather, I can. I don't think I don't know whether I trust AI yet to. It's not like I don't trust it yet, but I prefer. My preference is to have that personal conversation with my users, right? And so it's just empathy, and I think it goes along with every aspect of life. Just empathy, having understanding that people are different, things are different, and making efforts to really learn the differences as it concerns you, for example, in a work setting, as it concerns you, as it concerns your product, and then applying that learning. That's pretty much. So I used to work at Viamo, and at Viamo, we were working on a product where like we had presence across like 30 countries. You
Wow.
understand? 30
That's
different
good.
countries in Africa, in what they call across the continent, different continents, right? And that was
Okay.
our biggest problem, We get like understanding these diverse customers, what they want. For example, pricing would be, if you want to price a product for people in Nigeria, because we also have prices in Nigeria or in Africa. If you want to price for companies in Africa, it's completely different from what you price for companies in maybe in US or in Europe, right? Because you're not going to come and be giving how do I call it? Nigeria is like um like maybe $50,000, you know, something or you need to be very price sensitive.
Okay.
Like we're quite price sensitive and no. So those are kind of nuances you need to understand. And so they got like a couple of people across these individual countries to help to deepen our understanding of each country. So if I wanted to design something,
Okay.
I could speak to different people across the organization that from these different countries. Because how does it work here? How does it work there? What are the nuances? What are things I need to understand? And that was one of the ways we were tackling that kind of thing. So yeah, empathy. Okay.
Yeah. So you just have to gather enough information before even going into it, so that you know what you're actually building for this particular people. That's good one. That's good one.
Yeah,
I think we are running. Our time is fast spent. Okay. I have two more things to basically ask. I know that there was a time you set up like a company or something for something studio. I didn't remember the name again,
much to do.
but yeah, most studio. Yeah. So are you open to mentorship? Because I have some people that are reaching out to me that should, in case they want to go into tech, what are the things that they can basically learn here and there? And I have some that we just come straight. I want to go into product design, product management, and the likes. Is there? Are you open to mentorship? Is there something that you've been doing before, or is something that you are open to? Should, in case I have one or two people that I can recommend to you.
Where, for example, I could have like projects with clients and then like, okay, you know what, you want to learn? Come on board. Let's do this thing together. And it's been very helpful. Right now, I am open, maybe to a limited number, maybe just one for now, because I have a couple of things going on. And I'm trying to start up a couple with like my, let me just start up, like just go live with my current company. What a surprise, the experience gifting brand. So we're trying to do live. So it's been a lot of work in like so much work and things going on right now. I'm open to mentorship, maybe right now just one, maybe from next year, I can do a lot more than that. But yeah, of course, why not? It's nice to always talk to people, like people. There's so much beauty in just like when I see people that I opportunity to mentor and what they're doing out there, like in the industry. It's amazing. It's really amazing. But like, oh wow, okay, I love that. So yeah, definitely I'm going to it.
Thank you so much. Before we go, I want you to give like last advice to people that want to go into product design or product management regarding AI, empathy, and the likes. If you can just give like, a piece of an advice to people coming out there to come and go into product design, product management, if there's something that you can just give as an advice before we round up.
I don't know. I think what comes to mind is do the hard stuff. You understand? Do the hard stuff, right? Don't do things on a very mediocre level because it's an easy way out. So try to take the easy way out. Do you understand? Um,
Okay.
really getting deep, do hard stuff. If you want to learn about maybe something, dig deep, read books, learn a lot, right? Don't just, I mean, it's okay to want to jump to a career for one. That's all right. But I think that right now, because of AI, it has placed everybody at a level, almost everyone at a level playing field. Do you understand? Differentiating yourself is a lot harder right now. And so except you do the hard stuff, you understand. For example, you are trying to be a product manager or maybe a product designer and you are like at first actually you don't want to learn much about like how like artificial like AI works. You don't want to learn about prompt engineering. You don't want to start work using no code tools, use no code AI tools to develop things, to test, to to test, do A/B testing, doing all of those hard stuff. It's very hard to go far. But when you do the hard thing, just know that you at least differentiated yourself from more than half of the people within
Mm,
that industry, within that work. So my advice would be do the hard things. And also do not be afraid to like just start afresh. If you think that, oh, I'm already in this part and I think that starting a product, worried about starting afresh, just start. I mean, in the next 2, 3 years, you become better at what you're doing, And I think for me, those are the two things that really comes to mind now. Motivational speaker, but I feel like those are the two things I really believe so much. Doing the hard things, it will differentiate you from people.
Thank you so much to our listeners or then all over the world, like you've listened, right? Do the art thing. Um, I also so much believe that even though we have AI to help us, we should not fully rely on it, because when you rely on something and at the point it fails you, that is when you know that you need to actually do the art stuff like Ayobami mentioned. Thank you so much for today, Ayobami. I really appreciate your time. It's not easy
No,
to hold someone like you, even though we're still not on the same time zone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
well,
Is great to connect again one more time. To our listener there, thank you for joining us today on this episode of Tech Naija FM. Like I do say, keep building, keep innovating. I so much believe that in the next few years, we also hear from you. Thank you, Ayobami. Thank you, Ayobami.
thank you, Tunde, for having me. I appreciate it.
It's good one to have all of you to join us today. Thank you so much. And I believe we still connect next week on another exciting episode. Stay awesome, please. And bye for now.
Bye.